take it you want to go over
Oh, if
the
you don't mind,
lizardmen?
yeah, sure, I wanted exactly to cover them.
Alright,
Now
go
let's
ahead.
see. As we can see, Felk Burrito decided to bring mostly the Tlaka army, led in fact by the man himself, or the leader himself, Tic-Tac-Toe, and his flying forces. 2 units of Pterodon Knights accompany him. For the melee department, he brought a skink army. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units of skinks with javelins, 1 unit of the Sotek own skinks, and 4 units of chameleons, 1 great skirmishers, the amazing ones actually. 2 units of Bastiladons with solar engine for the massive firepower. A lot of Manticores skink. And just to give support to this quite squishy frontline, 1 unit of Croxigor and 1 Wild Stegadant. And
Alright.
that's it for the Lizardman army.
For the Dark Elves by Enticity, looking to push into the final here. As 4 Dark Riders with shields. That's a lot. 2000 gold into those guys. And there's 4, actually 5 units of Dread Spears, one of them is the Hellebrunite. 3 units of Shades, they'll be providing the heavy firepower here. 1 unit of Cold One Knights to cover them. Sorcerers of Beasts with exactly the same spells as the Lizardmen have on the other side. And is that... Ooh, it's a Dreadlord with a sword and crossbow. On a dragon, Noxious Breath, volley of high arrows. Of course, very proficient at shooting dinos. And then the last guy here is a unit we also saw Felkon use a couple times by now. K-Knight Assassin. And he's bringing the Web of Shadows and Assassin's Trophy.
It will be useful at least for the Skink Lord if he tries to decapitate him.
Every time I see Lizardmen these days, well, when it's not Cult of Sotek army, I see these 2 Bastodons with solar engines. They really seem to be a linchpin of a Lizardman army.
You'd expect them to be mostly focused on taking down precious targets, but they chunk damage even on infantry, like they open bloody wounds on them. The efficiency of the weapon, it's fine. Maybe it's only a matter of cost. Just a slight increase would be better to balance them out. But for the most part, they are a great tool in the Lizardman army. Especially since now the debuff they apply doesn't go on their own units.
Just look at them happily wagging their tails.
They know they're gonna be safe. The debuff changes why they start to get picked. Before they were mostly an issue for your own troops. Now they're one of the best debuffs in the game. Can you cover the effect of blinded Viking?
Yeah, I was about to do that. So minus 30 accuracy, also minus 24 melee attack and minus 24 melee defense for 10 seconds. It's like half an enfeebling foe for
yeah,
one shot.
It's massive. You you hit a unit of let's say cold ones and you bring their stats to zombie level.
Both players are deployed, not sure what they're waiting for. Oh, Felkon said...
He was gone
oh yeah,
for a
I missed
while.
that.
At least it gave us more time to show off the armies.
Oh, teas and biscuits! Who are you, sir?
Arabek, thank you for the follow. So he is actually still deploying. Okay, it looked like he was already deployed, but okay. No problem.
He's going for the spread out formation.
Yeah, I think this deployment makes more sense.
Yeah, when you have an entire front line that's made of small skirmishers, it's a great idea to divide the enemies in sides where you can shot them.
The Sail 7, thank you for the follow. How effective do you think the javelins are going to be? Because that whole front line Silver shielded.
Yeah, the silver shield are very good against projectiles, so I think they will do mostly pot damage unless he manages to attack them from the side, which is doable since he has more units than him.
True, because Dark Riders, I mean, on paper they should counter them, but in practice they always have trouble actually catching these units.
Yeah, the poison doesn't help in slowing them down.
Yeah, and also something about the charge animation just doesn't really work well on a unit like that. Gutter
Yeah, they
runners
don't.
have the same issue.
All units of spread out infantry, the charge of the knights doesn't connect properly, so they end up charging and then stopping, maybe hitting one unit and just deciding to charge again. It's a bit wanky.
Alright.
I'm wondering who will receive the stone from the Nagaron, the Pterodon, I mean.
I definitely think the Pterodons will try to drop the rocks onto the Shades once they discover them. Or maybe onto the Hellebronai, but if Enticity is on top of things, he should be able to keep his Dreadlord close to scare them off in melee.
Well, for sure the elves can't stay still. They will be under heavy fire from the Bastiladons.
Yep, they're already moving up. Pulling back the Dark Riders. First shot comes in. Misses. Well, apart from those two Red Spears who did die.
Kane Assassin is moving closer.
How do you think the Manticore, because both spells are on, or the spell is on both sides of the battlefield here. How do you think the Manticore summons will be used?
I'm a bit unsure from the Lizardman side. They could use it to summon and send it against the Dreadlord, or maybe trying to snipe the other mage before he can summon a second one. Oh, now we see the Dark Knights are charging the skirmishers. And
Going into the chameleons.
Yeah. And while the skinks don't have exactly a lot of stats, there's a lot of blow darts flying around. The stones have been dropped. Was that the tic-tac-toe one?
I'm not sure.
I think I saw a magic blast.
On the other side, Dark Riders are occupying the Solar Engine. They won't kill it, but they're stopping it from shooting, and the other Dark Riders got a good charge on the skink cohorts.
But laser missed.
Tic-tac-toe already taking a lot of damage. Well, decent amount. He is not going to be too happy about that because there's no healing available.
Yeah.
Now the Shades are opening fire.
Tic-tac-toe landing on some Dark Knights. But the skinks are getting charged directly there in the middle. The Croxigor will still deliver the pain to those knights and spears.
Yeah, Felkon with a, typical Felkon play, bunching a lot of his units up on one flank, to overload this right flank with Croxigors, and the Feral Stegodon is probably going to rout these two units very quickly. Steve responds with the Flock of Doom.
Once the side is crushed, these kings can really harm those Shades.
Okay, the first Manticore comes in, and let's see where it goes. It may actually just attack these Pterodons, which are currently hunting down the Shades. Oh, and Murderous Prowess comes in.
The Lizardmen are also deploying their own Manticore.
Manticore against Manticore summons. Lovely.
It seems the Dreadlord is going for tic-tac-toe.
Oh yeah, he's actually way in the back here. But I don't know if he can actually kill him.
He's too fast.
He may be wasting his time there.
You can shoot him in the back. Slowly, but you will get him.
It might take too long though. Shades are kind of getting compromised. I think the Dreadlord would be able to do a lot of work here against these
after all, tic-tac-toe,
Pterodons.
it's kind of cheap, so it's money loss chasing him for the whole battle.
Solar Engines now being committed to melee against these Shades, which are trying to reposition. But as I say that, Tic-Tac-Toe is being shot in the back, as you were pointing out. Good damage there. And if he dies, that dragon is going to be so much more powerful.
Yeah, Tic-Tac-Toe isn't exactly the greatest monster in the air, but he can still put up a fight against anyone who's not a legend.
Right, another Manticore comes in.
Those lasers are really doing job against the shadows. the shades. I mean,
Yeah, one is routed, one is pretty low and in melee, the other one is still in decent health but also in melee. Enticity will probably want to get them back online pretty fast because there's still some very big targets on the field.
the problem is that the Dark Elves are running out of infantry to shield them. It's all about the knights to try to screen them, and some manticores.
Yep, the Dreadlord has given up the chase. He's
He's
now
going for
committing to these javelins while getting shot by Chameleon Skinks. Looks like the Dark Elves are running out of steam here.
If they can't get back their ranged units, it's gonna be tough to recover. Even their Dreadlord can't heal after all.
That is true. Dreadlord now looks to be going for the Bastiladon.
That's a great
Charging onto
target.
it. Yep. But the charge doesn't seem to do that much. Now, Felkon is bringing his manticores, and the Dark Elf manticores have already almost run out.
Kane Assassin seems to be in a bit of a trouble fighting some Bastiladon.
Some Shades are putting down the fire though.
Ooh, the
Maybe able to
Manticore
save
from
him.
the Dreadlord plus the laser. Painful. Double laser on the Dreadlord.
He's
the
losing
butt.
health fast.
Yep. And the Bastiladon charge him. Ah,
Oh,
almost
he lifted
stopped
up
him.
just before the charge.
The assassin is going down. And that's for the end of the Druki.
Yeah, that chase on tic-tac-toe, a bit ill-advised I think, because he didn't get the kill in the end, and it was a lot of time where his dragon was not helping the rest of the army.
Yeah, after all, Tic-Tac-Toe wasn't exactly a important unit for the roster. Besides dropping the stone, he did actually, I think he did mostly nothing.
No, not quite. So this win puts Felkon one game away from a rematch against Astolfo in the grand final.
That was a great build by the Skink, by the Skink's army, by the Tlaka of Felkon. Very thematic for Tic-Tac-Toe, very enjoyable. It played exactly as you expected to, with the skirmisher using everything on their important targets, and when the melee fight
Oh,
ensured,
teas and biscuits.
the
Who
first
are
unit
you,
to go
sir?
were the knights.
Yep, another woman. Thank you for the follow. So the next map will be Empire Unfortified.
I'm
See
also
if
glad we could see a wild Stegadon in action. Those are not very popular units since they're so expensive.
well, I think Felkon and Taco have found out something about this unit because there seems to be one of them in most of their Lizardman builds. Oh,
We lost
Enticity
a
left us.
contender.
He's still in game, it says. Maybe he just left the lobby for a second to go check out the map. Let's ask him. Oh, he's typing. He just wants, he, for some reason, got booted out of the lobby. No problem. Here he is again. I think the Stegodons, they're pretty good because of their charge. It seems they charge something and they just keep charging it. Even if they're already in melee with it. That's what it looks like.
If you look at the stat line, one might not be impressed. I mean, it's a good unit, but why spend the double when you can get a cheap Bastiladon? But if his charge is special, then that's for sure a good idea to take.
Alright, Enticity going with Coast Bretonia. Seems to be inviting a dwarf pick here, but Felkon maybe not the most well-versed dwarf player. I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows how to play them, but I don't think it's his preferred faction. Oh, is he selecting Angrunt though? Might be. He's thinking about it.
It would be a great choice. The map is a bit odd for artillery, but it can pay off.
You might get your ghosts.
Hungry? Ah,
It's going back to Angrunt. Hasn't confirmed them yet, though.
Clan
Clan
Angron it is.
Angrunt, here we go.
Nice.
Alright.
Have we seen the normal Dawi this far? Just the Angron clan?
We saw dwarves from randomnix yesterday. Apart from that, no dwarves.
Yeah, no, I mean specifically the Angron clan, the sub-faction.
No, I haven't seen them in ages. Because dwarves, they're a faction with quite some lopsided matchups, so they're not really picked first often.
Yeah,
And
it's,
then when they have a good matchup, they're usually getting banned. So there's not much opportunity to play them.
not a great situation for the Dawi matchup wise. I mean, on one side they got stupidly easy, and on the other side it's almost impossible. You get barely no middle balanced fight for them.
Yeah, for the most part, that's the case. Hopefully, we do get a patch that will change, but it's really difficult, you know, because when you try to balance one matchup, you might unbalance another.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that they're moving in the right direction by giving the Dawi better tools outside of their infantry, buffing the gyro bombers, buffing the rangers, making some units like Giant Slayer cheaper. It would be a great way to move them forward a more aggressive style.
A move. Hi there. He says, we'll probably see 3 times foot blobs. Mark my words.
Yeah,
The Bretonnian hero blob against dwarf hero blob. Maybe we'll see some Gotrek on Gotrek action here. Because Gotrek yesterday actually pretty clutch for Prince, winning that game as Bretonnia against the dwarves. With Gotrek, who deals magic damage, but apparently deals so much damage that he doesn't really care about magic resistance.
It's overkill and died like a pro rolling in that fight.
Yeah. But, yeah. Bretonnia actually being picked here. Strange to see this matchup twice in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We actually saw it in the group stage once as well, where Fistek played it against Prince. Didn't work out that time.
The second time, again, in my opinion, worked because there was a certain unit in the corner of the map.
Yeah. Yeah, a little rule break there, causing that. Might have made all the difference.
Yeah, in the middle where the units were broken, it could have been very useful to have a unit to fill the gap.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that a football match in the background?
No, it's cycling.
Ah,
It's over now though, so hopefully television can go off. Or can be turned off. It's Viking. It's the Giro d'Italia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is.
oh,
You would know about it.
Yeah, my grandfather usually looks at it on the TV when I visit him.
Hmm. Right, the players are thinking about their builds. I'd want to change things a little bit based on the terrain.
I really want to see what they're gonna bring. The terrain of this map, as I said before, it's not the best for artillery.
No.
It's not exactly flat. There's a lot of trees and a big rock in the middle. That I think is a Sigmar statue. It's a great vision blocker. So I'm expecting the Dawi maybe to pull out a flying force here.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Charus could be a good alternative. Because as Bretonnia, you probably don't want to invest too much into flyers.
I really hope the Dawi brings a gyro bomber.
I mean, it is Felkon, anything can happen. Would you rather see a gyro bomber or a ghost dwarf?
Oh, that's a tough choice. While I really like to see the ghosts, I want to see some Vietnam action on the Bretonian from the gyro bomber. I mean, I haven't seen a gyro bomber doing a bombing run, an effective one, in a long time. I really want to see that.
Yeah, we might. A move says dwarves will have both Longbeard variants, slayers, guns, cannons. That is possible. I mean, that's, I suppose, the meta army, which is kind of what Random Nicks played yesterday. But Felkon has sort of been defying the meta a little bit, his armies.
The build mentioned in this moment, it's basically the same as the one of yesterday, just swapping some cannons for the Slayer.
Yeah, there were no slayers, and apart from that, it was indeed that build.
There was only one Slayer and it was in the wrong army.
Remove thinks it will be Belegar with his Oathstone item.
Makes sense. I mean, it's the Angron clan, so
Yeah, the Oathstone though, not that common. Usually Belegar is just brought for his silver shield and high stats.
yeah, it's
Not so
very
much
tough.
his ability. Or his abilities. You can bring quad gyro bombers and probably still win versus Bread. Well, you're only allowed 2 gyro bombers though.
No. I
And
really
two of
like
each single
Belegar.
entity.
I'm sorry, what are you saying?
Yeah, I was just mentioning the rule that you can only have 2 of each single entity.
Nah, even the Dawi fall under such restriction after all.
Yes. Okay. I take it you want to look at the dwarf army because you were
Yeah.
curious about that.
Yay, alright, we're not seeing some gyro bombers here, but at least there's a small air force of 2 gyrocopters. Nothing particularly exciting or new, but still, always like those flying things. With that said, what do we have in the front line? We see a front line composed mostly of longbeards and some dwarf warriors to fill the gaps in the middle of them. Always remember to use the encourage bonus of the longbeards. To defend them from those annoyed knights, 2 units of iron drakes with the troll missile variant, and 1 unit of slayer. You can always guess which one is the dragonback slayers. To lead this quite direct army of Dawi, we got the Lord of the Angron clan himself, Belegar, a spectral runesmith, which I'm very glad to see, and Gotrek Gornison himself, the most failed slayer of all times.
Because he's too difficult to kill?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a damn shame. Just die already. It's your job, right?
Well, maybe he will, like he did yesterday. Maybe he'll even roll around a bit again as well. So for Bretonia, they have some peasant mobs up front. We will do pretty much 0 damage to the dwarves, but might have been expecting to tank some blasting charges with their faces. The main piece of the army, I would say, is Luen Leon Kerr. He's going to be the hard carry here. There's Sword of Kuron, Lion's Shield, Stand Your Ground, Beloved Son of Bretonia, Ladies Champion. There's also the Green Knight. It's interesting, bringing the magic damage that will be needed to kill Throny Ironbrow. And Knights Errant, 1 flank, actually Regiment of Renown, so 3 units in total. And Questing Knights, and yeah, once again the Trebs. 3 field trebuchets, neatly spread. Some archers skulking in the forest. They all have pox arrows.
I'd say this is not the best map for both of them. Artillery doesn't work properly here, but there's a lot of trees, and the cavalry suffers a debuff, of course, while fighting the forest.
Yep. The gyrocopter is already going for this field trebuchet. The crew screamingly abandons it, runs back towards Peasant Bowman. We start opening fire on the gyrocopter, trying to force it away.
Yeah, things are getting steamy in there. I mean, I could have said that the gyrocopter are about to release some steam. God.
Well, you tried, you tried. I'm sure A-Move is proud of you. He's always ready for some puns. The hero squad kind of just charging ahead. Felkon wants to take that artillery offline as quickly as possible. And sees that the Bretonnians do not have a lot of holding power here.
Green Knight has revealed himself, is positioning to take out that spectral fella. Ooh, we got Luen running up to Gotrek. Very risky move there.
Yeah, has the Lion Shield that only
Yes.
protects him from missiles. And
Wrath and Ruin.
on him. Probably the Knights need to charge in to allow him to escape.
The Shield Lion will save him from most damage, but that was still a beating. A small one. Thankfully, he has the Lore of Life to heal that. The Knights get behind the lines and take out a unit of Iron Drakes. And they're going for the second one now.
Yeah, so far no models dead, but it is a little bit of damage. Those,
Yeah, the
pretty
Slayers
critical
are
units.
not positioned to protect that now.
The Gyrocopter in the back is actually causing Enticity a lot of grief. Peasant Bowman and the Field Trebuchets could both be routed off here. By that one unit.
Clearly the Bretonnian want to take out the Iron Drakes at all cost. Those are extremely dangerous units for them.
Yeah, I can just kill Knight models before you can even heal them. Kill
those
Luen.
Those Trebuchets are doing quite some damage in the big Dowie blob.
Yeah, those units all bunched up to deal with cavalry makes them a very good target. Oh, one archer routes out. Gyrocopter not respected. Really racking up the kills here.
Still, the Knights on the side got beaten badly to try to save their king.
Yeah,
Those layers do not forgive.
and yeah, they just keep charging them as well. So Luen Leon Kerr
I think
flying around.
the Iron Jacks are trying to aim for the king. And the king is going down on them.
So, sorry, what were you saying?
The Iron Drakes were in a bit of a trouble there. The Iron Drakes are incredibly resistant, one of the most resistant units of the Dowie roster. They are a little unit with lots of armor and death.
Yeah, and they just do not route. Sometimes there's like 6 models on with a combined 50 hit points that are just still killing stuff. But look at the gyrocopters, man. They're just killing the entire Bretonnian backline.
Those bowmen are not properly equipped to deal with them.
So Trebs are being routed, archers are being routed. And that's a loss.
The Green Knight
City
is
cannot afford.
he's in a bad situation there. It's stuck in a threesome with Gotrek and Belegar and the Spectral and Runesmith,
Cavalry is now charging in.
trying to save him. The Iron Decks are shooting, dealing some respectable damage to Luen.
And it looks like, because the backline is pretty much gone, the dwarves are just too sturdy here. I mean, the Bretonnians still have fresh peasant mobs, but what are they really going to do?
Yeah, those peasant mob not only ain't gonna do much, but the entire Bretonnian infantry has been destroyed by 2 gyrocopters.
Yeah. The gyrocopters are still raging through the backline.
The Iron Drakes is still doing a lot of damage to cavalry there. And we can see a good screening from Felkon to the Knights on the side.
When Leon Kerr once again being chased, slowed by the Dragonback Slayers. Taking Iron Drake shots into the back.
He's gonna get out, but still suffering some decent damage.
Yeah,
The
heavy
cavalry are
damage.
trying again, going for the Iron Drakes.
Those guys super sturdy. Look how low their health is, and look how few models they've actually lost.
And look at how the leadership is still incredibly high.
When Luen has been routed.
Whoa! He couldn't get out of the slows.
Oh, the Rune of Wrath and Ruin.
That explains what
Dealing with
he
him.
did. Every
is still
hit from
online.
the players.
Enticity calls for the GG and pulls out.
Yeah, it looked decisively grim for the Bretonnian there. Without the cavalry and with the Iron Drake still alive, there didn't really seem to have much of a chance. The Breton